Hello there, my good friends. This episode is all about IELTS speaking. We are first going to go through a few tips, and then I'm going to play a mock speaking exam, just part 3 with the questions. It won't be my voice, it's going to be a different voice. And this is on purpose so you get accustomed to understanding different accents and gaining the ability just to get used to and improving your decoding skills. So let's jump into this first. Here are a few tips for your confidence. So when you go into the exam, you want to go in there with a stronger body posture, and you want to treat it like a conversation with your friends, like a job interview, So you don't want to be laughing and, hitting the teacher on the shoulder or giving him a fist. What you want to be doing is just going in there, your back straight, which will help you project your voice better. You want to plant your feet squarely on the ground, and you want to be sitting in not like an overly confident position, but with your back straight, your neck up, and looking just directly at them. Don't stare the examiner down, but just be smiling, and know that the examiner is there for you, and they're going to give you opportunities to score high. Okay, so you go in there and relaxed and just smiling. This is your day, your opportunity. Now, the other tip I want to give you relates to fluency. Actually, one more thing with body posture, okay? Body language. If you go onto TEDtalk.com, there's a famous talk there where she talks about blind people and that they have the same body posture, they have the same body language as other people, even though they've never seen these people in this body language before. They've never seen it because they're blind. However, they've still got the same language, as in they lift their hands up when they're feeling successful, when they're feeling confident, when they're feeling nervous, they cower. Okay, so it's the basis of the talk is that you can alter your confidence levels or your mind by changing your body first. And usually people think that, okay, if I think confident, I'll act confident, but also it works the other way around, that if you are in a strong posture, you're going to be, and it's scientifically proven, you're going to be more confident, okay? So get into the habit of using a better body structure, a better posture, and you'll see some benefits of that. Also, you can talk a little bit louder as well. This will help your confidence. And do this in everyday interactions. Just bring it up a little bit, just to get used to it. I remember actually, I'll tell you a quick story and then we'll go on to fluency. But in Spain, they talk a lot louder than a lot of places in Europe. And I realized nobody was listening to me. I couldn't get my point across, even though my Spanish was okay. So I just had to increase the level. And then I went back to the UK, my home country, and I was still in my Spanish mode. I just got off the plane, went to the bank. I wanted to withdraw some money. And I just like, hi, can I withdraw some money? And the cashier, she just jumped back and she was scared. And she was like, okay. And then she waved with her hands for me to bring down my volume. And I realized, But what I'm saying is that if you're speaking louder, it's going to help you and it's going to be easier for the other person to understand you. Okay? But don't take it to the extreme like I did by accident. Now, the next tip is to do with fluency. So here's some really quick tips, and you want to use these tips in the speaking exam when it comes up in a few minutes. And so one way that you can improve the clarity is that you can imagine the words coming out of your mouth and going over in that direction. That will greatly help, and it'll just give you something else to think about while you're talking, and it'll definitely improve your clarity and the way you communicate. So try that. The other one is the first words that come into your mind are probably the best ones, okay? And it's easier to go with those words. Don't try and stop and construct this grammatically perfect sentence. Use the first words that come into your mind, go with them. In writing, you can go back and edit and adjust it for clarity and improve maybe the spelling, maybe choose a different word. But in speaking, it's spontaneous. We do not have that luxury. And oftentimes, when we try and go back and correct what we say, it can be a little bit more confusing. So it's usually better just to go with the first words, let it flow. If you're thinking of something to say, pause. And I suffer from this a lot because you've probably heard me say okay a few hundred times if you're listening to my podcast. However, if I was in an exam, I would probably take a little bit more controlled approach. I would be pausing more and it would most likely sound a little bit slower just so I could be more accurate. Now, the other tip, which is a really useful tip, is called reflective listening. And this is basically just if the examiner asks you in a certain tense, you reply in that tense. I've spoken about this before, so I won't go into it in much detail. But if the examiner is asking you in the conditional, where would you like to be in 30 years' time? My answer, well, I would like to be, or in 30 years' time, I would like to be probably in Yorkshire with my family, in England, and possibly even creating my own family, whatever. Actually, I would be probably 60-something by then, but it'd be too late. Anyway, so another example. Would you be willing to work away from home if the money was sufficient? I would probably be willing to work away from home if the pay packet was interesting enough. Okay, another question. Do you think pollution is a serious issue in the Western world? Yes, I think pollution is probably one of the most serious issues we're facing in the 21st century. Okay, can you see? I'm just using the same tense and I'm giving it back. And this just avoids any kind of challenges or any issues or any possibility of an incoherent answer. For example, do you think pollution is one of the most serious challenges in the Western world? Yes, it will be a serious challenge in the Western world because, can you see there's that disconnect and it's not good. It's not good. So identify the tense and just give it back to the examiner and then add a few more thoughts. So, without further ado, I'll give you the listening exam. You've probably never heard this accent or this guy before. And what I'll do is I'll pause it and I want you just to practice giving your answers. Maybe you want to have a listen to the questions beforehand, and then when you're in a private place, you want to just record your answers and then review them afterwards. Okay. Also, remember, if speaking is an issue and you need to improve it fast, you can have a look at sentenceguide.com, and there's the Speaking Confidence course where we work on issues such as fluency, confidence, and there's plenty more tips in there.
Describe where you want to retire. Why is this where you want to retire? What memories or activities do you want to do once you retire? Is this place real? Is there a favourite food you will have supplied here? Is the cost of retirement too expensive? Should you be able to retire as a young adult? Did you lose any money from your retirement when the economy fell? How much do you want to save up for retirement? How much does the average person in your country save up for retirement? Is retirement difficult in certain countries or areas?
Okay, so that's the end of the test. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and remember what I said before. I'll just recap: reflective listening, replay the tense, your body language, be calm, confident, smile. This is a job interview. And your fluency, if you can visualize the words, talk a little bit slower, talk a little bit louder, visualize the words coming out. And those are the best tips I can give you, in all honesty. And if you're still worried about this, don't worry. You can get support and you can get some motivation and you can get feedback if you go over to sentenceguide.com and check out the courses there. All the best and good luck in your IELTS exam.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.